Alright lads, so released this morning, HIKONE Resurrected characters have finally been resurrected. In this case, round 1, Nelio, Grimmjow, and of course also HIKONE. Today, starting off the lineup of showcases for the new resurrectable characters, we have HIKONE, a character that I'm massively fond of given their reputation in the game being one of the best characters on release, and now holds the title as one of the better resurrections in my opinion. But what actually made this character one of the best upon release? Well, it mainly came down to their strong attacks. You know, back before, not every character, if any, was ever given Havoc, and at the same time, we never had any damage increase in skills. Most of the time, your value in the meta came from how good your strong attacks actually were. And in HIKONE's case, they had a good set of strong attacks. Most importantly though, what really separated them from the rest of the meta was the fact that they were given Long Stride, a skill that any character can now pick up thanks to bonus abilities, but back then when this character did initially release, barely any character had Long Stride. At the same time, the old variation of Guild Quest was also a thing, so any character with Long Stride was able to stand at the top of the meta, and HIKONE was an example of that. But what exactly do they look like now that they have been resurrected? Well, for starters, their soul trait, originally being 12% strong attack recharge, is now that with the addition of when you are at full stamina, you increase your strong attack damage by 20%. It's a really good soul trait. We have someone very similar to that in the form of Zombie Toshiro. So it's nice to have more links like this, and Mind as an attribute has already access to a great set of links, and HIKONE is no exception. Alongside that, thanks to their new innate skill, they picked up 20% Havoc, so more range on their strong attacks, which is always good. They got an additional 20% strong attack damage increase, and they also got 20% more damage to any enemy that you do inflict with weakening. So overall, as a resurrection, they got basically 60% more strong attack damage. 20% of that is coming from when they do inflict the Stazzlement. They got 20% more range, and they became a really good soul trait. What more could you ask for on a resurrection? It's really, really solid in my opinion. Although I guess you could ask for more DPS, I will say. The damage to weakened enemies is cute and all, but I would much prefer 50% SP boost. Had they picked up that, this would have been significantly more impressive. But as far as resurrection standards do go, this is definitely one of the better ones. Now for the showcase, we are going to be using a Fortification Pill, a Kamari, and of course also a Capricorn Alpha, all with 30% SP. Links include Aizen, Toshiro, again fellow resurrectable character that are also really good alongside this HIKONE, and then we also do have the free-to-play Chad link, 25% full stamina, and of course also 12% recharge. Bonus abilities include full stamina and also SP. Usually I would give the character full stamina and Long Stride, but since he already has Long Stride built in, I chose to give them SP instead. The character's Transcendent is level 10 SP, level 10 focus, could give them level 10 attack, but I'm not going to do that just now. But lucky for me, since I do have them special move level 3, I can eventually get them 5/5 through the free-to-play special move trial quest, and potentially get one of the best links in the Mind attribute. So yeah, overall, very solid resurrection. Let's hop in the gameplay. Alright then, so let's see how HIKONE does perform. First up though, let's check out their strong attacks, because maybe you've never seen this character in action. The SA1 is a lunge forwards, which at the time was actually really good. The SA2 is a beam forward. Obviously now they have Havoc, so they have significantly more range. And the SA3 is a full screen attack. At the time, this was basically all you wanted on a character. It was a really good strong attack here. And even nowadays, to be fair, it's still a really good strong attack here. Obviously nowadays, kit isn't just enough. You need to have the damage output to back it up. And HIKONE, while receiving a pretty good damage increase, isn't really enough for you to take him into most content. But hey, if you want to have some fun with a new character, or a character that you have fond memories of like this HIKONE, it's honestly not too bad to take him out in a quest every now and then. And hey, you can probably get away using them in guild quests, assuming you have some good sides to back it up too, right? To compensate for the fact that you are using quite the old character. Mini Sorbet does access to quite some good sides, so you might be able to get away with it. And again, I can't stress enough how good the long shot on this character was. Even now, to be fair, given the fact they have long shot, I can just focus on giving them full stamina and also SP as bonus abilities. And that overall lets HIKONE have more damage. Let's grab the Soul Bomb though, let it off. It's a really cool looking Soul Bomb. I like it. As someone who at the time wasn't that knowledgeable about Kanfi on words, I think for most of us at the time it wasn't even officially translated. Now you can actually read it, and you can read it in game too. Unfortunately, having said that, I've actually not yet finished the novels, but I feel like Ella did a pretty good job introducing us to this character, because even though I basically knew nothing about them, I was sold on the character, I was hyped, and I definitely summoned for them, and luckily got them relatively early. And the good thing about HIKONE getting resurrected now is mostly just to give us hope that Tokinari is getting resurrected potentially sometime in the next month or two. But yeah, honestly, gameplay's really good here. I'm liking it. I know we are playing single player IT, but it's still not too bad, especially given the fact that we don't have killer here. Now, as I did mention, the long stride was also really noteworthy during this character's release, because that was also back when we had a different type of guild quest where characters with long stride was some of the best in the game because of how fast they were able to clear the quest. Nowadays, of course, damage is more of a focus, but the beam, in addition to having long stride, allowed them to be up there with someone like TLA Soifon, another really good character at the time, just due to the fact that you could use them in guild quests and get way faster scores than anyone else. One thing I will say, and you know, back then, to be fair, and I've already taken damage, that's unfortunate. You don't really see it talk about much nowadays, but back then, HIKONE having a bad normal attack stream was actually really noteworthy. It was one thing that I remember a lot of people were put off with this character, because obviously they're an SP character, you want to use your strong attacks, but at the time, you know, we didn't have crazy damage output, so realistically you were reliably using your normal attacks alongside your strong attacks, right? I guess it wasn't that big of a deal, but I do remember it being quite annoying, because if you actually have a look at that Nat string, it's really slow. It's a really cool looking Nat string, I will say. Like, this is really cool looking, but for some reason, it's just so slow. If we are to use our Nat string though, I would definitely say not use the entire thing, just do 2 attacks and then stop. Now our damage output has taken quite the hit here. Unfortunately, was not able to grab the soul bomb or the healing box. But you know, to be fair, I think if you get this character max transcended, they might not be too bad in any content that has Super Killer. I don't want to take into co-op right now because realistically, it's not the best time to do so. Like even 2023 characters, I don't want to take into IT co-op when they don't have killer. So yeah, I'm probably not going to take this character into co-op IT because it just wouldn't be worth our time. We'd be there for like 5 minutes. If I have the character max transcended though, might do that in the future. I do plan to take him into the special move trial quest. Since I have him 3-5, I can do that and eventually get a pretty good soul trait. Although to be fair, again, mine is quite stacked, but I can definitely see myself using this character, especially when anyone has Frenzy Plus 2, like the new upcoming Yuha. This HIKONE would be a really good link for him. But once more, let's go ahead and use our soul bomb. There we go, nice and easy. That run, not so much. We did take a lot of damage, to be fair. And you can see that a massive difference. Normally, we were clearing in like 1 minute and 10 seconds. If we take a damage, if we take any type of damage and lose all our full stamina damage abilities, we then clear a whole minute slower. Next up, though, and I guess our last quest for today, let's take into some co-op inheritance zone. Actually, in this case, it's dropper zone. Obviously, really easy content right now, but at the time, this quest was kind of difficult. Especially when characters didn't have the craziest damage output. You really had to use the best characters possible, and HIKONE, again, was one of those characters. Let's go here, use our SA3. Gameplay to this day feels really smooth in my opinion. Again, outside of the Nat string, which I do want to avoid using, the long stride is nice, and I actually kind of just forgot, given the fact that this character already had long stride built in. Actually, never mind. I was going to say you could give this character double long stride, you can't. For those that don't know, if a character picks up long stride as a resurrection, you can actually give them long stride before resurrecting them. And in that case, then, when you do resurrect them, they have double long stride. HIKONE, unfortunately, can't do that, even though I just originally thought he could. SA3, absolutely nuked there. You'd love to see it. That wasn't too bad. And then once more, let's go in. Let's not even use our soul bomb in this case. Let's just use our strong attacks. We have to wait a couple seconds, and unfortunately, we got hit last seconds. All right, I'd go SA1, or SA2 actually, into the 3. Lucky us we do have killer against the bosses, and we take them down super quick. But anyway, lads, that was the video for today. Just checking out the new resurrectable characters, the first of the 3 that we are going to try out. One of the more exciting ones, in my opinion. This HIKONE was a standout character in the year 2018 when they came out, 2019? I think it was 2019. Was a great character back then, and right now is a great resurrection character. Again, I still think resurrectable characters should be a lot better, but honestly, as far as resurrections do go, they did get one of the better ones. More damage, more range, really good soul trait too. That's the most important part, and of course, free orbs. It's a character definitely worth using in the special move trial quest, especially if you are like me that has the character 3-5, you can then get them 5 out of 5 and make them a really good link. Glad Comfy World characters are finally getting resurrected. Looking forward to the next couple rounds. See you guys next time. Take care and peace.